Excellent.
Hey, we're actually live. Yay,
Hey,
we did it.
how,
Hey.
welcome to the stream, everyone. I apologize for being in the wrong place before where no one could see us, but I think we're in the right place now. And Brian, you were
We were
telling me,
screaming into a very entertaining void.
yes, we were having the time of our lives. Unfortunately, we were leaving everyone else in the dust because we simply
All
were
right,
not
cool.
actually there. Anyway,
Well, thanks for having me this month, John. Thanks
yeah,
for having me. This is really nice.
you're welcome. And if you were just telling me where you got the idea for redoing Buffalo Cauliflower, you're doing a pop up.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi, I'm Brian Gilmore, and I like to cook stuff, and I generally like to do that like all over the place. I'm sort of, trying to get all of my creative food stuff out there. I do it for myself, and I started doing pop ups in front of my apartment because someone called Fat Ass Amy's, that's fatass.ammys, if you're in the Hollywood area, is someone who is doing pop ups from the front of her apartment, and she's made some of the best pastries I've ever had. She makes homemade Pop Tarts. She makes vegan conchas, which are the best conchas I've ever had. I don't know if you ever had a concha, but it's a Hispanic like breakfast treat, and it's kind of like, for all intents and purposes, like a Mexican scone. Like, they're dry as shit and they're meant to be dunked, but they're so good. And she makes them in a way that they're actually bready and so good. We're going to be doing a collaboration with my lavender tacos and bouquets of those sometime before Valentine's Day. And then I'm doing a lavender one before that. So, in all of that, John was like, hey, let's have you back. Let's do a Super Bowl thing. And so, in our conversation, I had just done the Alinea Grant Achatz, who, if you know who that chef is, he's like a molecular gastronomy, like he's like the godfather of it. And so he
Hey, man.
has this table dessert that I'm sure you've seen, which is just a bunch of, just like a table, and it looks like a Jackson Pollock, but it's all dessert. And you get to eat it, and it's a great experience. Our original thought was we were going to have a table nacho dessert that looks like that, using the ingredients from my lavender pop up. But we decided that people didn't really want fancy, like, gourmet nachos as much as people wanted the experience of whatever they would get if they were going somewhere for a Super Bowl party. And if there's anything that is one of my favorite vegan Super Bowl or just party snacks, it is buffalo cauliflower.
Couldn't agree more.
Um, John, what's your favorite part of buffalo cauliflower?
Oh God, that vinegary spiciness and the crunch is always really nice too. And it's done like it all adds up to just a
When it's
delightful.
done properly,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Like, the vast majority of cauliflower that I've had, especially in quarantine, it's never fried food is dead pretty much in quarantine because it doesn't travel. Fried food is something that you need to eat pretty quickly or it loses its crunch. It, like, isn't the best way to eat a thing, and you're also doing that thing again, which is just not how I see vegan cooking, which is just making a vegan version of something instead of making the best version of that thing without ingredients that aren't vegan. Like, just do that. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making
Philosophically
uh
important distinction. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and so we are doing a cauliflower steak, and we're gonna make our own buffalo sauce, which is easy as hell. And we're gonna make watermelon radish fries that are super addicting, and also which makes this meal kind of keto. So it's actually really good for you. It's really filling. And to be perfectly honest with you, some of the techniques you're going to be learning are low key from Gordon Ramsay's masterclass,
Wow.
because I happened to take it for fun, and he he did a cauliflower thing, just because one of my good friends is like the guy who, like, invented or whatever. So, like, I just have them. So now I just, like, watch a masterclass for fun. It's better than YouTube, right? So, like,
Sure.
yeah. So there's a way
Not
to
to hate
treat
on
a
our lovely host, but
cauliflower.
yes.
Yeah, well, there's a but there's a way to treat a cauliflower, which I have done, but I've never done all four of these things. Is one way to treat cauliflower, like is really, really celebrating it. So that's what we're gonna get started to make. So yeah, and tandem with that, while we're waiting for stuff, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, since it's going to be first Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully that's still on a Sunday, and we'll have probably a lot of commercials, and like I'm sure there will be at least one meme that has to do with the cardboard cutouts that are going to be there.
Sure.
But
Just a few. Yeah.
That's going to be the Super Bowl.
That's a popular meme topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no Bernie Sanders in mittens, but it gets mileage. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll do something. But one of the main, I guess, the thing that we talked about online that we were going to be talking about for this episode is the waning cultural influence of the Super Bowl, like over time. Like the difference between one idiotic thing that would be a throwaway, like it would be a meme that you see in like 15 seconds, is something that took over the world in the 90s with the Budweiser frog.
Right.
Right. And like, sorry, didn't mean to give credit to just one frog.
It was a team effort. Yeah, you could call.
Yeah, the Budweiser frog, the over sexualized Carl's Jr. commercials,
right,
the GoDaddy commercials, like
also
all of those ran out of steam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All like for the full thing, see that, and then you go to the full thing and you just see a longer commercial. Did you ever go to see the full thing? It's just
never.
A longer commercial.
That's not a surprise.
You saw nothing.
That's not a surprise.
Said, well, I'm a horrible pervert, and like all you go to see if you wanted to do that, nothing. Just nothing. Waste of time. Kind of like the Super Bowl, but celebrating it is a part of our cultural fabric. So we need buffalo sauce around this time of year. So let's make some buffalo cauliflower.
I'm in. Let's do it. Sounds great.
All right, cool. Let's get out our cauliflower. So this is the first thing we're gonna do. You're gonna print this out, but the first, are we gonna see the instructions on the screen or not? Just so I know.
Sadly, I did not have time to do graphics for this one, but
no worries.
But I do have my notes app. Compare the viewership to the world World Cup or the Super Bowl. Oh man, I bet the Super Bowl has got like a fraction just because it's just the one country. But so many people here have TVs. Who what? I don't know.
I mean the World Cup versus the Super Bowl is basically like Carnival versus our St. Patrick's Day, where like we have a cute little tradition based in pretty much nothing, and everything else is something that's been going on and has actual cultural significance and is actually important to people beyond going to parties and getting drunk.
Sure.
Not to say that that isn't a huge part of it, but like I feel like almost every other country has things like soccer that are actually important to their fabric, whereas football for us is huge and important, but the effect of the Super Bowl itself is waning over time. The effect of the World Cup itself, I don't know. Everyone's really pissed off at the World Cup committee. People fucking hate FIFA, right? It's
That's
like
true.
One of the most evil places around. So either way, you're supporting trash, but we have to live in a society, and so I want to eat some buffalo sauce.
There you go. That all together. I endorse this and would subscribe to your newsletter. Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And a wonderful Simpsons reference. So first step, preheat your oven to 325.
Got it.
Sorry, 350.
350.
My bad.
Excellent.
Cool. Take your take your cauliflower, all ugly like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim up this cauliflower, and the first thing that you have to do, if now I can't say how big yours is, John, but when you lay it flat, is it flat or does it have a little bit of a wiggle?
Quite a bit of a wiggle. Yeah, not that flat.
All right. So let's turn it up on the part where it's a wiggle. We're gonna cut the flat like this, but don't cut all the way through the root, because that's what's going to hold the steak together.
Okay.
So just cut a little excess off so that you can have an actual flat surface to cut your cauliflower on, and it will get kind of messy. It's going to get everywhere. Set it aside. Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing this Gordon Ramsay energy to the stream. The pedagogical approach to just cooking along. It's great. Pedagogical just means you're teaching.
No, I got it.
Good.
All right. So now you're gonna look at your head. You're gonna look at your head like this, and you're sort of gonna gauge the sides of it, right? Because you're gonna want two perfectly even steaks. So now that we're looking at our cauliflower the way that we are here, I am going to cut it. So as you can see, I'm going to cut it right here. Get rid of that little excess trim. You could put that in salads, save it aside to dip it in the leftover ranch that you may have. Okay. Whatever you want to do with cauliflower, make it into a puree for tomorrow night's dinner. Throw some Forager butter in it. That's all you need. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. That's a pretty large chunk of cauliflower, which feels wasteful. But again, when you're making this, you're having the best version of cauliflower and you have some leftover for tomorrow. It'll last for like at least a few days. And if you keep it in a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Cool. So trim some of the green off so we don't have too much green. Just going to do some of that with my hands. And let me know when you're at a point where you have a flat and a relatively rectangular piece of cauliflower that you can cut perfectly in half. As close as you can get.
Also,
Nathan, the more even you make it, the more even it'll cook. So.
All right, sounds good.
All right, cool. Are you there?
I think so. Do I appear to be? If you look at my.
You are.
All right, excellent.
You are very small for me, but I think you are. So now, we're gonna take our knives over to the sink. Wet your knife. Great. Just a little bit of wet. Now cut these perfectly in half. And then just, use the proper technique. Do this against your fingers. Don't cut yourself.
Sure.
Give yourself an actual edge. Cut right through. You should have two steaks that look just about like this.
It would seem so.
Great.
Yeah.
Those look great.
Excellent.
Those look wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. So now from here, we are going to season these steaks. And so we're going to season the steaks with a something that I really like to do, and whenever I'm making up a recipe, I really like to make things really, really, really cohesive. Everything in the meal should be friends with each other, which sounds like a weird substitute teacher way to explain this, but I mean it there. So the ingredients in almost any hot sauce. So here's Frank's Red Hot Sauce, for example. Let's read the ingredients of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. They are aged cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, water, salt, garlic.
Very basic. Very simple.
Another one, this Crystal Hot Sauce. Amazing hot sauce, the most versatile hot sauce for almost anything that you could do.
I gotta try it.
Aged cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, salt. Only difference, Frank's has some garlic. And if you've ever gone to one of those places with like a wall of hot sauces, those are all just differences in ratios of pretty much the same ingredients using different peppers, and sometimes stuff like pomegranate and blackberry, or pineapple if you're doing that one from Hot Ones is actually tastes good. And there's just so much. But for buffalo wings, we miss the outdoors. We want fucking the commercial experience at home, glowed up. And that's why we're going to be using, for this one, Frank's Red Hot Sauce.
Perfect.
It's Frank's original hot sauce. Easiest thing to find in the whole wide world. You can find it at any bodega or liquor store, like we call them in Los Angeles, because that's what they fucking are. And
those New Yorkers.
So since there is cayenne, garlic, and in some of these hot sauces, celery, we're going to be infusing those flavors into our steaks and then that's what's also going into our sauce. So it's all going to be a cohesive experience when you really cut into this steak. So let's season these. So just as much as you would like any other thing, a little salt. You don't need to salt cauliflower and broccoli. You don't need to salt brassicas that hard unless you're really, really searing them, because their flavor comes through pretty easily. So you don't need to go too crazy, but I'm doing just about this much. But I'm doing diamond crystal salt, which is not as strong as regular salt, but is like lighter and nicer. So that.
Are you like pinching it out of a bowl?
Oh yeah, so this is my salt cabinet. It's just a little mini Le Creuset, and it's where I keep all my salt.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
I have a shaker, because I'm basic.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I like to do it with my hands. Like I used to like pour salt into my hands and then just use whatever I needed and then just throw the rest in the sink.
Okay.
Just because I've always liked hand control, and I decided at some point to stop wasting salt. So here we are.
Aha. Aha. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So another thing that's in everything, we got salt, we got pepper in there, right? What's something else that's in Frank's Red Hot that we're going to put in here is cayenne. Now, here's the thing where there's an optional thing. My preference to cayenne pepper in general is something called Kashmiri mirch, which is actually what's used and found in India more than cayenne pepper. So whenever you see cayenne in a recipe that like is supposed to be some kind of like authentic Indian recipe, a lot of the time people are using Kashmiri mirch because it's basically cayenne, but it has more flavor with less heat. So you can actually use more of it and get something that's spicier, but not as hot, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that's what I'm using to sort of dress this, but cayenne works fine.
I will use. Like, okay. I would totally use that ingredient. It sounds freaking fantastic. I will use cayenne.
It's not that different. Honestly, it's not that different. You can just use more of it to get more of a full flavor. If you like spicy, but personally, after I tested this recipe a few times, like my body told me that it was more than spicy enough, so don't worry about it.
Gotcha. So I've got a text message here. Worldwide viewership for 2019 Super Bowl, approximately 160 million. Worldwide viewership for 2018 World Cup, 517 million. Wow.
Yeah, that's because that's a sport that the world cares about versus a sport that just we care about. Like, do you know very many, like, I don't know, do Europeans get excited about the NFL? I mean, we're two people who don't want. Do you watch sports?
I don't. I don't. I was in so many pep bands growing up, and that was because I just like making music with my friends.
Yeah, same. Like my biggest exposure to sports was mostly that, and so I guess if you're looking for some kind of Super Bowl talk, let's talk about fucking halftime shows, right? Like for me, like my background is the internet, and I like memes, everything you can think of. My life, my career, it's how I built it over the last 12 years.
Hey, your Insta story is like the highlight of my day sometimes, man. I don't care how sad that sounds, audience. I don't care. He's a very funny person.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But like, so yeah. So honestly, like the halftime show, I don't know if you're like me, but like I'm a little bit of a softie in that I love. Yeah, like I mean, so have I, and then I lost weight, but like I like wanted to like I always really like to participate in stuff that like the whole world does. So like I watch the Grammys, I watch the Oscars, I'm on Twitter, I'm making jokes. Like it's a fun thing, you know? How many things do we get to experience as like a so like even if it's just in the background, I watch every Super Bowl.
Heck yeah. Well, that's participating in the monoculture is a good way to be able to have water cooler talk the next day. I mean, people need things to talk about, and not everybody wants to talk about the latest Five Iron Frenzy album. It's like me and 10,000 other people on the planet. And we love Five Iron Frenzy, but no one else cares. Even
yes, we do. Yes. This is a 5 Hour Frenzy household.
Yes, exactly. Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate it because the new album's great. But we're talking about Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Anyway,
I'll have to listen to it. We are talking about Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But okay. So next thing we're gonna do is I have my olive oil. My preferred kind of olive oil is Nouveau olive oil. If you can find it, California farmers markets, and it is legit one of the biggest time-saving things, as well as like the best olive oil at a not disgusting price that I've ever had, like in my life. Like it's so good.
Okay.
In fact, I use their garlic infused olive oil to make buffalo sauce. Usually, I won't today, but like usually I just do that, you know. But today we're gonna look at it for the emulsification. But anyways, point is, this next step is just you just coated both sides of your steak with all three of those seasonings: salt, pepper, cayenne. Now you're gonna drizzle it with olive oil because this is gonna help it get some color. So everywhere that you kind of want to give it some color, sort of douse it and let it go within, because you don't know this yet, but for this recipe, we're going to grill it, and then we're gonna butter baste it with forager and braised celery greens, which I'll show you in a second. And after that, you add some veggie stock to it. You bring that veggie stock up to a boil, and then you throw it into the oven. So just so you know where we're going, we're doing that many things for just 2 steaks of cauliflower. It takes a while to explain, but this is a 20-minute recipe. So yeah, let's just keep on going with it. So my oven is all the way heated up. My cauliflower steaks are all coated in oil. And so I am going to bring my cast iron skillet or oven safe skillet, whatever you have. If you have like a hex clad or some shit, congratulations. And also let us know if you, and also let us know if you, wait, do you have a hex clad?
No, I don't, but I do have a Dutch oven, which is going to go in the oven better than my, whatever this is.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I just have like your regular run of the mill Lodge cast iron skillet, because you know there's only so many, and I got it the same way anyone else gets like a cast iron Lodge, you know, skillet, which is like either like being passed down through generations or like a sale at Marshall's. And there was a sale at Marshall's, and my girlfriend had like a few bucks left on a card, so here we are. So get whatever cast iron skillet that you have going, ripping hot, just like you would, you know, meat. And we're just gonna brown these guys for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. We're gonna brown it for 2 or 3 minutes. I did.
I will do the other side.
Do the other side once it's on the pan. You'll have the time.
Okay. What a good idea. What an excellent tip.
Alrighty. Cool. So I'm gonna let this heat up for another 1 minute, during which I want to discuss some of the best. Did you grow up watching Super Bowl halftime shows?
I did grow up watching Super Bowl halftime shows.
Do you remember any of them? Like, do you remember like some of the best Super Bowl halftime shows? Like, there's a few that stick out for me in my childhood, and a few that are more recent that are like, I think objectively the best ones. But I don't know. What do you like?
So before I graduated from college, I was just always bitter that there wasn't enough marching band in the Super Bowl halftime shows. But I do.
That's so funny.
Like everyone else, I remember the Janet Jackson one. I think the Prince one is my favorite one of all time.
Oh,
that was just like.
The Prince one was fucking great.
It's the first one I've ever gone on YouTube the next day and actually watched it again. It was very good performance. Very good performance.
Yeah, that was really good. I remember I was at a party. I was still drinking then, but like I remember liking the Bruce Springsteen one. That one wasn't like great, but I remember it being like he always just brings it. You can just always count on the boss. Like you really just can. It's nice. He's reliable.
Okay.
Much like our cast iron skillet. I'm gonna throw some oil into this skillet now, maybe like 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
Great. I'm gonna let that heat up for just a sec, and then I'm gonna throw my steaks in there, and by then it should get a little noisy.
Excellent.
But anyways.
Yeah. I actually set up a separate boom mic for the. Anyway, nerdy stuff, tech stuff. We'll be able to hear the grease better.
Wait. We have Sizzle ASMR. That's great.
We do. It's got its own separate channel in the sound recorder, so the edit will just be it'll be delightful. Yeah, something to look forward to.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. I love that. All right. Great. So let's get some color on these bad boys.
You got it.
Ooh, yeah. Listen to us. So now you're going to want to start a timer for 2 to 3 minutes.
Thanks. 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
3-minute timer has been set.
Cool. And you have your, what's the setting that you have your oven on? Is it high right now?
The oven is at 385, which in my oven translates to 350. The stovetop.
Oh, sorry, I meant
stovetop's
yeah.
at 350. Why do you think Prince's performance stood out? I didn't care about Prince at all, considering his music career, and I love that show too. First one I thought of, I don't know either. Like, I'd never gotten into Prince like at all. By the way, Nathan, this is Brian. Brian, this is Nathan. Nathan was my best friend in high school. He's a great guy.
Nice to meet you, Nathan.
Yeah. I think it was just his performance. Just like he was so dynamic, and he was doing it live, and like he was Prince. He was Prince. I had never seen him perform before, and it was just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It stood out to me, and I think it had to be his just charisma. He's just a charismatic dude. He really carries the scene. What would you say?
Yeah, he knows how to be like. He knows how to be alone on a stage and make that feel huge, which is like crazy. And it's nice because he's a fellow tiny king. Right? Like all of us who haven't made it to like the national average height for men, like all love Prince. He's representation for me.
He's proof that Randy Newman was wrong. My best girlfriend's mom. That's you, Dad. Always. Welcome to the chat.
All right. So back to the cauliflower. This cauliflower is almost done browning. I'm going to turn the heat up on the pan down to medium, okay?
You got it.
So we're going to give that another minute. Now, so when I was little, I was pretty much obsessed with Michael Jackson. I was born in 1985. And so when you're born in that era, the coolest people in the era were all named Michael, weirdly. Like it was Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, maybe a little Larry Bird because I was born in Boston. But I remember Michael Jackson's Super Bowl halftime show was one of the greatest things I'd ever seen because before all the, him being a monster to everyone for the rest of time,
right?
Like since the Beatles, there was never anyone as cool because he opened his halftime Super Bowl show by shooting out of something and then just standing there accepting applause in silence in front of the world for like a full minute. Like he didn't move or do anything. Now, the reason his performance actually wasn't very great is because it was lip synced. Because up to a certain while, because of safety, I think the Super Bowl did have a thing where you needed to like pre-record what you were going to do so they have control over it. Like, I don't know if that was pre or post the time where those like hackers rerouted the stream to porn. Remember when that happened?
No, that sounds like the internet. It sounds about par for the course.
Yeah. So one year that happened. All right, everyone, flip your cauliflower over. It should have some nice color on it.
Yeah, it does.
What we're doing mostly right now is we opened the spices and we just toasted them. We didn't burn them. We toasted them. Now, since the skillet is now at a medium, you're doing a little bit more of a slow color on this side of the cauliflower. This is when we take out our forager butter. This is the best vegan butter in my opinion. John, have you had this butter?
First time. It's my first time.
First time, huh?
First time, yeah. I've been a Miyoko's guy for like a year.
Oh my god, your life is gonna change. Okay, take a little taste of forager. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
I just ate a little butter.
Sometimes you just need a little dose of, concentrated.
Yeah, it tastes less corporate.
I see what you mean. No, that really tastes like butter.
Right?
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
Forager, baby.
Way to go.
Yup.
Forager.
Yup. Good job. Thank you, Forager. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to take about 2 tablespoons or just like a dollop enough of butter. And here's something that's new. So this is celery. You know celery.
Yeah.
So I'm taking those leaves off, which you usually ignore.
Wait.
Have you ever tried the leaves?
My friend, I don't have any celery. Was it on the list? Oh no.
You.
I'm boned.
Well, no worries.
Yeah.
I've got celery greens.
Excellent.
So we're taking these celery greens, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be throwing them into the pan. So did you throw the butter into the pan?
Not yet. Working on it.
Okay, cool. Let me know when you get there.
You're very organized, and I appreciate it and respect it.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
So while John is doing that, I'm actually going to prepare 2 cloves of garlic. Now, for this, I know most people will always tell you, hey, if it's 2 cloves of garlic, I'm going to use 7. But for this, we're not really infusing it with like minced garlic. We're really mostly simply perfuming it. So all you want to do to perfume something with that is you put the butter in. Once the butter melts, it becomes a liquid that you tip the pan over, and then you base the liquid that's going to have the celery greens and the cracked garlic on it, and then that's going to perfume that with the flavors that are going to be in the ranch. Does that make sense?
It does.
Great. So I'm just doing this. 1 crushed piece of garlic, all you need. Throw it in the pan. Another crushed piece of garlic. Throwing that guy in the pan. And all that celery stuff that you don't use, that usually just looks like this, this is stuff that's going to pretty much grill itself. We're technically braising it in the actual juice. So we're going to have celery and butter flavor, or sorry, celery, butter, and garlic flavor that is going to be basted to the inside of the cauliflower. So I'm adding my butter now. I'm adding enough so that I can baste both steaks. It might feel kind of like a lot, but that's okay, because that's what we're doing, and this is a decadent meal. And keep in mind, you're not having anything fried that isn't radishes, but at least not anything breaded and fried. So
okay.
It's okay to eat this much. Not even bad for you butter. So right now, I'm going to do a weird, and I'm going to bring everyone over to see what my pan looks like right now. So that is a relative view of what my pan looks like right now.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm trying to figure, there we go. So that's what you want.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to be doing largely is just melting this. And then just putting more on the top. I'll demonstrate it better once everything is actually melting. Get my angle set up.
Yeah, that sounds good. I guess I should have read through the directions more carefully. I left celery off my shopping list. That's entirely my fault.
No worries.
Oh, thanks, Nick, for the wow. I agree. This really looks fantastic. It smells really good in my kitchen right now.
Yeah, so the celery greens are really kind of a game changer for the flavor of this, because you're going to serve the celery greens on top of the actual cauliflower itself, and they add a really delicious flavor. Like, if you ever had celery, like, use the whole thing. Like, it's the same with cilantro stems, same with parsley stems. There's so much waste. And these celery greens are part of some of the star of this particular dish. Now, our stuff has been braising, and we have it's been grilling, braising, and everything. We've been basting it, and we have all the flavors that we need in there. So now, do you have your veggie stock ready, John?
I do.
All right, let's pour in that veggie stock.
And that's a good question, Deb. Nothing I've got would be a good substitute for celery. I've got exactly the ingredients I bought in my fridge and like some soylents, and that's about it.
All right, let me know when you are ready to pour in your veggie stock, and we'll do it at the same time.
How much veggie stock? 3/4 of a cup.
Yep, I have about this much.
Okay. I spent all day.
And let's do it.
I spent all day ironing out tech issues. And
so now it's gonna get louder.
There we go.
All right. So I know that this is something that people don't think about while cooking. A lot of people might, but you might forget. But every time you're making it, you should remind yourself, whenever you add anything to a pan, you are lowering the heat of that pan. Do you notice how it's quieter now?
Yes, this tracks with what we learned in, I think, 10th grade chemistry about exchange of this tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the audience doesn't know. Please continue. Don't let me talk over you, please.
So whenever you add something to a pan, it lowers the temperature of that pan. So you do have to make up for that by now. We're going to turn our pans back up to high, John.
Yes, back to high
until that veggie stock gets to a simmer.
We will listen for it.
Great. So Bruno Mars is a part of both of my favorite Super Bowl halftime shows, I think, of all time.
Okay.
Like, there is nothing, and I mean like nothing, like the Super Bowl halftime show that started out with, it starts out shaky, which is why it's so hard, but please look this up on YouTube. And I know how it's going to sound when I start, but like, just bear with me. It starts with Coldplay. It's Coldplay coming out and doing Coldplay. And they start out with a song that is Coldplay. If you need to Google something, Google Coldplay, Beyonce, Bruno Mars. This is by far the best Super Bowl halftime show of all time. Because you go and you're like, Coldplay, bullshit, all right. And what's cool is, as part of a Super Bowl party, you're like, I'm just gonna like, be a part of the party. And the first part of it, everyone's still sort of like getting together, getting some food to watch it. Like, Coldplay gets rid of their first few bullshit like new songs. Then they actually give you the songs that we sort of know them for, and then that immediately turns into pretty much a battle. Like, they introduce Mark Ronson, who then brings on Bruno Mars, who then does a battle with Beyonce, and then they do a medley of all three of their things, and then it ends with Beyonce pushing the camera out of the way. And it's just like, before we had like Coachellas and shit, I think the Super Bowl was one of the only places where if you tuned in, anything could happen. Sure. And that's part of what was really, really fun about that. And I think that performance was the last time a halftime show made me feel that.
Okay.
Anyways, the cauliflower's
I've got it pulled up. I'll check it out later for sure.
Is your cauliflower simmering?
Cauliflower is simmering.
Great.
Yep.
Throw that shit in the oven.
You got it.
Now set a timer for 10 minutes for that.
We're go.
Great. Now we're going to make some French fries. Are you ready?
Totally.
All right. So you got radish. What kind of radish did you get? We're making radish fries.
A Daikon.
Okay, cool. So John's working with a Daikon radish, which is much easier to find than what I'm working with. That's a kind of Japanese radish that is honestly like pretty much the easiest to find common Japanese radish. So most people should be able to find that. And just wiping down my new cutting board for a little while, which by the way was a birthday present from @WhitneyPuppy. If you want to follow her, it is a Baby Yoda cutting board.
That's fantastic.
That says Choppy Chop on it.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that adorable?
I do indeed
it's
love
great.
that.
Best birthday present. Okay.
She's good.
So now she's a great friend. One of the best friends you can ever have.
Couldn't agree more.
She really is.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
so I have a radish here. What does your radish look like?
My radish looks, well, I've cut it in half. I hope I didn't mess up. But looks like...
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mine is round. So the main thing about this is cut French fries or cut wedges, just like you would a potato. If it has ends, cut off the end. Same kind of thing. No matter what you're cutting vegetable-wise, you always want to create a flat surface so that you can do stuff that's pretty much uniform.
Okay.
So I did this. John, you cut yours in half. Totally fine. Whatever you think. I'm cutting mine in half.
I was going for French fry shapes.
I'm left with... Yeah, do French fry shapes. I'm going to do wedge shapes since mine is round.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. I will.
Yeah, so let's do it. So the reason I chose watermelon fries is because I think they're pretty. Literally, that's it. Like Excellent. You can do it with any kind of fries. Like it won't matter.
Never had radish fries before.
Ooh, get ready.
I'm excited.
It's the easiest fucking thing in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So, John, my bad. I should have told you this. One thing I missed. Let's heat up our fry oil.
Heat up our fry oil.
Just turn that on. I just turned mine on. Now I'm continuing to cut my wedges. And if you want to see what, I'll show you what those look like shortly.
So, where did the idea for radish fries come from? I've fried many a potato in my life. Never considered radish.
I got pretty sick of potato. So this is what watermelon radishes look like on the inside.
Cool.
They're very pretty. And then this is the wedges that I'm going to make. So what you're going to see me do is you're going to see me coat these almost completely in cornstarch. And that is the only thing you need to do.
Excellent.
So I'm just going to grab a bowl from somewhere. I'm just going to dredge these bad boys. Getting these all ready to go.
Exists cornstarch in this apartment. I was holding it earlier today.
Okay, so the missing cornstarch.
Indeed, yeah, very colorful fruit.
All right, so the recipe says 2 tablespoons for every 2 radishes. But honestly, I just kind of eyeball it. If they're coated in cornstarch, which if you're touching cornstarch, you will understand cornstarch. It's not sticky, but it is. And it's not powdery, but it is. It sticks to things. And what it's going to do is it's going to help your fries crisp right up. So all of the color won't come through because of it, but you will still see it when you bite through each wedge. And that's what you want. So I have my fry thermometer telling me that we are a little bit of a ways from 365. So you want to get your fry oil, which is going to be the best fry oil you can use sensory memory wise is peanut oil. Peanut oil and French fries are usually like how to do it. Like anything you do fries, it's going to taste real if you have peanut oil. Which is funny because do you ever notice smells from your childhood like while walking through a city?
Totally.
So I had one of those experiences recently, and I didn't know why. And it was a churros guy, and I'm like, why churros? Because I know what peanut oil smells like, because peanut oil plus sugar pretty much just smells like a county fair. But this was a very specific smell, and I realized it was a churro specific smell because he was using almond oil. So it's really funny, like how many oils that we don't really think about really, that have a huge impact on our memory of what is and isn't good.
Excellent. Yeah, I remember there was a deodorant commercial years ago about how scent is the strongest sense tied. The smell is the strongest sense tied to memory. The boyfriend hugs her girlfriend and she forgets that he's being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
good.
Yeah.
Glad we have all these like apologist commercials by Axe.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Cultural touchdowns from like the biggest douchebags on the planet. It's wonderful. Sorry if there are kids in the audience, don't repeat after me in front of your. Just don't repeat after me.
So this is what my radish fries look like.
Now
that they're coated in cornstarch.
Okay. I could use.
So just so you know, they're supposed to be looking a little like that.
Gotcha.
Although with the Daikon, I'm sure it's a little harder to see the white.
It stands out. It's not really in the shot, but it is in reality. Working out okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't stand out on the purple quite as well, or whatever color that is. Colorblind people shouldn't guess what color things are.
Are you colorblind?
I am red-green colorblind. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not the problematic. I'm not the problematic, secretly racist kind of colorblind. Dave, get rid of your own.
Oh God!
I don't get the reference. I don't get the reference, Debbie, but I appreciate it.
What did Danny say?
Dave, get rid of your axe. Is that a reference to something? If so, well referenced, Dave. Somebody in the chat.
Yeah.
Lauren's mom. Okay, so what are we doing with the radishes? No, you're doing great, man. I get distracted. I'm very. What were you saying? Yeah, the radish. Here we go.
So I'm waiting for my fry oil to get up to temp. We're still at 280, so we probably got another 2 or 3 minutes. Which means how much time do you have left on your cauliflower, John?
1 minute 55 seconds.
Cool. Almost exactly the same. Great.
Cool.
So once we take the cauliflower out, we're gonna set it out to rest. Not that it needs to, but we're gonna set it out to cool. Because when you rest a thing, you're usually doing that so that the juices go everywhere. But that's all meat. So
yes, excellent.
No one needs to know that.
Right.
Cool. No, we're up to 300.
I don't mean to keep talking over your response in the chat. I get so excited. People are hanging out. But I appreciate your input.
I'm glad people are hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone that's hanging out. Hey, anyone in the chat, do you have a favorite Super Bowl halftime show that we haven't talked about? We've talked about Michael Jackson's and how it was lip synced, and how he's over forever. My favorite ones with Bruno Mars, which are the ones that was just him, and then the best one ever, which was, and I'm so sorry, Coldplay with then Bruno Mars and Beyonce. But I don't know. What are some of your favorite Super Bowl things? The worst one in recent memory was just last year, like Justin Timberlake's last year was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like that was horrible. Did you watch that?
I didn't even hear about it. It must have been so thoroughly mediocre.
Yeah.
Or even bad.
Yeah. Oh, was that? Maybe that was the year before. I think last year was J-Lo with Shakira, right? Because Shakira made that. Shakira did something that sounded like something from the Wild Thornberries. She made a sound that sounded like the kid, and then everyone on the internet made fun of it. But it turned out it was actually like a traditional thing of where she's from, and it like meant something. So that's kind of cool that we had like a nice little we had like a cool Latin moment in last year's Super Bowl. So
representation is it's important. Yes.
Yeah.
There's
and
too
Jenna,
many people like
we're about
in the spotlight. We're at time.
Yeah. Great. Let's take our cauliflower out. Boom. My usual alarm is a Beyonce song, actually.
Okay. Oh, that smells so good. Oh my God. I want to eat this right now, but I can't.
And you have your garlic cloves in there too, right?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to do that weird angle thing that I did, which doesn't look good, to show you this is what you should be looking at right now.
I think that looks fantastic.
Great. Anyways. So let's see where we're at. Oh, hell yeah. So my fry oil is at exactly 365. I'm gonna toss my boys in. You want to fry some shit up?
My fry oil is at 228, so I feel like it'd be premature, but I'll turn up the heat and see if we can get us a little closer.
Yeah, I just put the fry oil all the way on high heat until it gets to where I need it to be, and then I back off.
Makes sense to me. Oh my.
But that's only when you're using fry oil that has a smoke point of at least at least 350.
So you're saying grease fires are bad?
Because I'm saying grease fires are bad, but also like not having it hot enough, not being able to have oil that could get hot enough without burning will make your fries worthless.
Sure.
And the cool thing about these fries is these take like 3 or 4 minutes. So
okay,
I'm gonna throw mine in.
Okay, I'm at 265. It's gonna be a second, but I'll set a separate timer for mine when the time comes.
Yeah, no worries. They're fries. I went over to Bargain Fair, a kitchen store near us, and bought one of these for $2.50.
Excellent. Nothing like a good strainer.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a basket. It's a fry basket.
Okay.
For little
see.
fry guys.
I
have way too much of everything I don't need.
My favorite hobby is buying a kitchen accessory for one recipe and then wondering what I'm going to do with it for the next 6 months.
Oh, I do that. I do that exact thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, they're
okay.
Just little $6 knickknacks.
All right, John. So since we're waiting for your fry oil to come up, and we're now waiting for my fries to fry. In that time, would you like to make some buffalo sauce?
I definitely would like to make some buffalo sauce. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So, in order to make this buffalo sauce, it's really just combining a bunch of shit into like the smallest saucepan you have. Just anything is good. So I'm just gonna put in. Let's see what I said. Yep. So we're gonna crush some more garlic. Just open 4 of these cloves. Usually I would just splash some garlic olive oil into this, but since that's not a thing people have, and when people seem to find it at farmers markets, I've been told that depends on where you live. Some people will charge you like $47 for a bottle of that.
That's too much. That's way too much.
That is too much, which is why we're doing this. But
yeah.
Anyways, and simply do that. Crush these. Just to open them up.
You got it.
Heat up the saucepan. Put it on high. Throw in your 1 cup of hot sauce, like I'm doing right now. I'm just finishing off my bottle of Red Hot.
You got that saucepan on heat?
And now.
If you already told me that.
Saucepan on high heat, yeah.
You got it. If you end up repeating yourself, please remember I'm ADHD and autistic. But I'm here with you. I'm hanging with you, man. I'm here. Thank you.
This is also a stream, and that's just best practices. So don't worry about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. For
We're
clarity.
Doing this together.
We're repeating things for
good
clarity.
Good. So most people don't know this, but do you know how to make buffalo sauce before you did this?
Nope.
It's literally just hot sauce, butter, garlic, salt, and pepper.
Okay.
So what we're doing is throw as much butter. So what we're doing is I threw my 4 cloves of garlic, 1 cup of hot sauce, 2 tablespoons of Forager butter, and I think that's it. And I'm putting a lot of butter into mine because I like my barbecue sauce really well, like emulsified. So I'm just going to show you how this cooks here because I had this on high heat, but in order to melt, all you're really doing is melting the butter. So if you can see here, sort of what I'm going for. Let me see if I can. There we go. So you're basically just doing that until I pour some buffalo sauce onto my iPad. But most importantly, until that particular part of it is fully emulsified. So do you see how it went from a dark red to now more of a sort of soupy orange? That's what you're looking for. That's sort of that sweet spot. And as you continue to heat it up with the garlic and the butter in there, once you put it back on and you stirred it, once that butter has pretty much all the way melted, you can take it off the heat. So did you hear that one, John?
Once the butter is melted, take it off the heat.
Yep.
So I've got 2 tablespoons of butter, garlic, and hot sauce in there. Are there spices I'm forgetting?
Nope.
Excellent.
Because remember, in the hot sauce, we already got vinegar, cayenne, salt, and some garlic. What we're doing is we're adding real garlic to bring out the real garlic flavor. So what we're doing is we're accentuating the parts of the sauce that we want to taste more real. So it's not just you just splash some hot sauce on it. You're bringing out the natural ingredients from the actual sauce. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, my
cool.
fry oil is at 365. 375 is too
Fuck
high.
yeah.
All right.
Throw them in there.
You got it. How long should this timer be?
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
But yeah, keep your eye on them. That's the part that's like a little sort of like just eyeball it. But
sure.
For generally for radishes, 3 or 4 minutes. The way I thought of radish fries, other than the fact that people just already do this, it was one of those things where like I thought about it and then looked it up, and it's like, oh, people do this, but I've never seen anyone make watermelon radish fries because they're so pretty. But yeah, I thought of it because radishes, roots, potatoes, roots.
Oh,
we should fry every kind of root.
Absolutely. Any tuber we can find, let's throw it in some grease. It's probably going to be good.
Yep. So my fries are going to be ready in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then I'll be able to show you guys what those look like.
I wish I could tell you all how fantastic it smells in this kitchen. But we've got like the buffalo sauce, so like the spicy vinegar is going on, and then the spices, the cayenne and olive oil on the cauliflower. They're all kind of working together here. It's fantastic, and not to mention the hot, which like Brian said, triggers memories of being at the fair and waiting on a funnel cake. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's an easy like. It doesn't take much to do this meal. It's just, you just have to follow the directions, and it's so much easier than you think it is. Like our main component is all the way done, like that's crazy.
Wild indeed.
That is wild. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
It's a thing that I try not to do.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I do.
Same team. Yeah, exactly. I always feel really, really, really bad for talking about ableist, because it's like colloquial. It's hard. It's like
it's literally colloquial. Yeah.
Yes, it's like telling somebody in 2007. Well, I'm not going to make a comparison. But it's semi-new to care about this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Like the most liberal people, what's funny? One of the biggest things that doesn't hold up that well in times, but I forgive it because I will always love it, is a lot of ableist and sort of iffy, sort of definitely written by Gen Xer type of things, is from one of my favorite shows is like, if you rewatch 30 Rock, there's so much that's just not okay anymore.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I heard a race-based criticism of 30 Rock, and I felt very guilty for some of them. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. You. Yeah. Yeah. Like, because I didn't write the jokes. It's just like, oh God, I didn't even think to question this at the time. I probably should have. Yep. Anyway, please continue. What were you saying?
So I just took my fries out of the oil, and here they are. I will show you the plate once they're done. John, what's the most important part about making a French fry or something like a French fry right when you take it out, other than draining it on a paper towel or a grill if you have it or whatever?
I assume it's hype. Is it hype? Is it hype? It's hype.
It's 90% hype. Okay. And 10% salting them immediately.
That was my next guess. Okay.
Yeah. So salt these bad boys and set them aside. So now we've got a finished cauliflower, nice and warm. We've got a piping hot buffalo sauce, piping hot. We've got our fries ready to put on the side. We've got one last order of business.
What would that be?
We got to make some ranch.
Oh, let's make some ranch.
Have you ever made ranch before?
Not since going vegan.
So the lovely people at, if you follow at Bestie's Vegan Paradise,
I do.
It is the best. It is the best vegan market I've ever been to, and I think they're in some kind of thing where you can vote for them for best in the country. So please go do that if you can.
Oh, definitely.
But the brilliant and insightful person there named Leah has been the one who has really been my Sherpa through like a lot of this. Her and someone whose name is escaping me. But everyone who works there has been really, really great. Asia is the one. And so they turned me on to Forager in general. And so what we're going to use to make our ranch is Forager sour cream, soy-free veganaise, just because soy-free is just the way to live, as much as you can at least. And fresh herbs.
It helps people who have food allergies. Sorry, please continue.
Oh yeah. What are some of the benefits of going soy-free?
Well, it keeps guys who still think that soy gives you boobs from talking to you.
Okay, that's one good. That's one plus.
Yes, that is, and it opens the door to more people being able to eat your food because soy allergy is not as uncommon as you might think. Yeah, accessibility is always good, inclusion is always good, and so I like soy free because I know a lot of people with soy allergies.
Yeah. And so, John, let me know when you're in a position to start the range.
All right. I think these fries are actually ready this time.
Sweet.
Gonna salt that fried food.
Cool. While we're waiting on while we're waiting to start the ranch, yep, great. So while we're waiting to start the ranch, did we get any people from the chat telling us about other Super Bowl halftime shows that they liked? Because I frankly don't think it has the cultural significance it used to at all. And I think this year will be an all-time low, even though The Weeknd is playing. Cool. And I'm very happy that The Weeknd is playing because I love The Weeknd.
Weeknd's great.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be nice. It'll be nice to see a concert that someone spent money on, you know?
For the first time. Like, oh my God, it's so long. It's
all I need. I just need something to look like people didn't like throw it together.
Yes.
It's like what I kind of miss is like some of the polishedness of the way the world used to be. But in some ways it's better, I think, in some ways of like getting it so that everyone's been more authentic. Like me, it's gotten me into my local pop-up scene.
Hey.
Like, that's kind of a nice thing.
Nice.
It's kind of a nice thing.
Oh God. There's so many great pop-ups in LA too. Some people who were in the pizza video last year, Sarah and Serene, they've got this. I'll hype them. soon because they deserve it. But they haven't been able to do as many because of the pandemic, obviously. But Ohala Vegan is the name of their Instagram. So if you like vegan pop-ups in LA, Ohala Vegan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so right. I think I'm in a position to work on some ranch.
Cool, let's make some ranch. So I like to make ranch in the vessel that I'm going to eat it out of because I hate making too much ranch. I always waste it. I'm never like, ooh, let's eat leftover ranch. It's never a thing that I want. No one's just like, oh, I have like a half ounce of ranch, or I have 2 ounces of ranch. That's going to be an important part of the next part of my life. No, never. Make just as much ranch as you need. So that's why in the recipe, it's not like measurements, it's parts. So we're going to make this ranch with 4 parts veganaise, 2 parts sour cream, and then 2 parts fresh chives, 2 parts fresh dill, 3 parts fresh parsley. Usually ranch has more parsley than that, but since this is a little bit more of a tangy, I'm going for more of like a tangy flavor profile with this. I like to add a splash of apple cider vinegar into this because it kind of helps to give us the tanginess that we would usually get from the sour cream and the buttermilk that would traditionally go into a ranch sauce.
Okay.
So just chop all this shit up.
Nobody.
And I'm going to start by. Go ahead.
Nobody pitched a potential best ever Super Bowl, but somebody, Deb did say, wouldn't Queen have been great? And yes, they would have been fantastic.
Oh, God. I mean, Queen could still do it. They have the Adam Lambert thing going. It wouldn't have been the same, but
yeah,
Queen would have been really nice. But but Freddie Mercury, like Queen was not in. Well, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody is pretty much a lie as a movie. Like the end of the movie where they play Wembley, I think, when they play that big concert,
the Live Aid show, yeah.
Was it Live Aid? Okay.
Yeah.
When they played that, it was like a big like welcome back or whatever in the movie. Mm-hmm. When in reality. They were still together and they were doing fine. And this was something that they were doing to make themselves feel better because they took gigs in places that supported apartheid.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also run 3 history websites. So
nice.
I'm filled with random shit like that.
Wait,
so anyways,
okay.
we're going to be cutting our herbs for this. And I just want to let you know before we do.
My questions are coming up faster than we have time for me to ask them. Okay, so which herbs?
Fold your herbs when you cut them. Whenever you have herbs, don't just like go at them and then you keep having to go through the whatever. One of the best things you can learn is to bunch up your herbs like this and then to fold them and then to cut them. Because then it just opens them up. So whenever you're cutting herbs, don't just start hacking away. Fold them as many times as you can, and then just evenly cut as you go.
Okay.
So I just did that, and now I'm finally dicing it a little bit more. Great. Now I'm dicing my chives. And chives are easy. Chives are just chives. And for the dill is where the folding thing works the most. So whenever you're doing dill, really ball it up as much as you can and then cut it uniformly down to the finger. Okay, great. Now we're going to mix this all up. Just right on your cutting board. Now, let's get these 4 parts of veganaise into your receptacle, however much you're making. This is how much I'm making. Keep in mind that however much you're putting in there, you're going to have to fit in half as much sour cream. So now we're opening up our sour cream.
Sour cream is open.
Which, by the way, have you tried Forager sour cream yet?
This will be the first time.
Give it a whirl alone.
I will. I'll make some quesadillas later this week.
But like, just try it right now.
Oh.
Let me know what you think. whenever I'm making anything for the first time, I try every component just to make sure to see what it contributes to the dish.
Well, that's smart. Like soloing your tracks when
They're
producing music. Oh God, that's so good. Would that taste like sour cream? That's just sour cream.
Yep.
2021 as a vegan is much better. It's such a good time to be alive.
Right?
Well, if you're buying vegan food, and literally for no one
else. Okay, so now you have your herbs, right?
Just about. I'm chopping up the chives, and then I will have my herbs.
Cool. So once you have your herbs in there, look at how small the receptacle I'm making my ranch in is. So I'm just doing it like this.
Okay.
Literally just toss it around. Exactly what you think it would be. You just mix it up.
Okay, so like those packets that you would buy, it's like just freeze-dried, like ground up powder. This is what they're putting in that powder to make that secret, delicious ranch thingamajig that literally everyone in my hometown, like including myself, drinks like water on top of their food.
So what's cool about Hidden Valley Ranch is that Hidden Valley Ranch originally started as just the packets, and the ranchers, what they did is they would get those packets to restaurants, and the restaurants kept asking for the packets, and so the regular thing that that's how they started and did most of their business. So most restaurants don't carry Hidden Valley Ranch in a bottle. Most restaurants mix it themselves. So whenever you taste a ranch and it's better from a pizza place than it is from some other place, then it's different from some Greek place, that it's different from some other place, those are people using the same packet in slightly different ways. So if you ever think like, oh, a pizza like place knows how to make better ranch, yes, but it's not that pizza places know how to make better ranch, is that pizza place knows how to make better ranch.
Yes.
But this is, I think, the best ranch. So is your ranch all mixed up?
So, okay, what were my parts? Veganaise and sour cream?
4 parts veganaise, 2 parts sour cream, and then get that in there, right? Okay.
So that'll be 2 tablespoons of veganaise. Pronounce it however you like. I literally don't know.
So yeah, just half as much sour cream as veganaise.
Done.
Cool. Veganaise. And then what you're gonna do is 3 parts parsley. So it's 3, 2, and 2. So it's 3 parts parsley to 2 parts dill to 2 parts chives.
Gotcha. So.
And then just mix it up.
2 pinch.
Mix it up with a spoon.
3 pinch. 1 pinch.
Mix it all up, baby.
2 pinch. 1 pinch. 2 pinch. Spoon it up. I'm learning so much today. And I'm gonna make this again tomorrow and then edit it up and hopefully have it on the channel in a very digestible form, no pun intended. Or why not? Pun intended, sure.
Yeah. Intend the puns. Why not? Let's own those.
Yes. That's right. Live with intention. Intend your puns.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so are you all mixed up with your ranch?
I believe so. I am all mixed up.
Do me a favor and try it.
I will do you this favor. That's very good. That's really, really good.
All right. So
it tastes like ranch.
Thanks. So it's gonna need the slightest pinch of salt.
I have my salt rack. Is that what you call it whenever you put it in a bowl like this? Or I guess it's probably a specific
cabinet, I think.
Salt
people
cabinet.
Call it. I don't know why the fuck, but
why not?
I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And the final ingredient after you do that is just the tiniest splash of apple cider vinegar. And if you have if you have red wine, that works too.
Sure. My mom, plenty of people would go over that. That was about to be a weird like wine mime joke. Anyway, who doesn't love a little bit of wine? Why does it have to be? Why do the moms have to take the brunt of everybody's drinking wine? It's fine.
Yeah, everyone gets to drink wine, not just the moms.
Right.
We should take wine back from the moms.
Exactly. It's everyone. Everyone over 21, just in case my brother's still watching.
All right. Cool. So mix that up real well.
We've only gained users throughout the stream. We had 3 at the beginning, we're at 5 now. Like, we're a small channel. We don't release that many videos. So, like, thanks, friends, for hanging out. I'm sure I know you all personally, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for being around, everybody. This is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So we made vegan ranch. Have you tried your final vegan ranch?
No, not since I vinegar.
I need you to try it.
Then I will.
Salt, right? Yeah.
Then I will. Who am I to leave that hanging?
Good.
Is the veganaise special anyway? Just buy Hellman's vegan mayo. Good question. That's Nick posted that a couple minutes ago. Brian recommended for this recipe the soy-free veganaise from Follow Your Heart, which I am finding to be quite delightful right now. And you could probably pick from your favorite. I like Sir Kensington's a lot of the time, but I think they changed their formula.
Sir Kensington's. I'm also a huge proponent of Sir Kensington's.
Yeah, they do good.
He's from where I'm from, and he's my age. We came up around each other.
Oh,
apparently, I met him at a party, and we had like a billion mutual friends, and it was just like, oh, okay, sure.
Nice. LA natives, man. Like it's like that's cool. That's just cool. I thought it was a made up fictional character. I mean, I saw the monocle and the tuxedo. But Mr. Kensington is an actual person. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Peanut. Going back to the Super Bowl thing, the most memorable thing that we got out of the Super Bowl last year was the advent of Baby Nut. Honestly, Baby Nut. Anyways.
Oh god, that's just the weirdest thing, and they hijacked like a whole news cycle to kill their mascot and
yep.
Yeah.
It worked, and he came back to life, and now he's a teenager. Did you know that?
Oh god, they're baby.
Like they kept going with it.
Of course.
So
commitment to
we are ready to play, sir.
Let's play.
Let's do this shit. So just take your cauliflower. Throw it on your plate. Now, your garlic, your greens, if you had celery greens, put your garlic and your greens on top of your steak because they're now really well cooked and you can just eat them as part of it. So what I'm doing is, so far, I am plating mine to look like this.
That looks really good.
So that is before, though, we pour the sauce over onto the cauliflower itself. And once you pour the hot cauliflower sauce up, also if your cauliflower sauce, if your buffalo sauce has died down in heat, and throw it on high heat for like 10 seconds. Make sure it's still emulsified. It seems to just do really well. Like with real butter, this is sometimes an issue, but this is just great and easy.
Yeah.
So what you do with that is, now that I have this nice and plated, putting this to the side, just spoon as much buffalo sauce as your heart desires all the way through. All the way just on top. And make sure to get into the crevices too, so that it goes all the way down to the bottom. Because remember how thick the steak is. Like, this is cauliflower, but it's a lot of cauliflower, and you don't want any bites without any actual buffalo sauce in there.
I like how
you just do that.
Yeah, this is like formal banquet quality of like plating here.
Yep.
Good stuff. Underrated
Great.
skill.
And your finished product should look pretty much like that or that, given that I have no control over where my camera looks.
Right. There we go.
Did I leave?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on.
You're still here. I can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Here you are.
Good. There we go.
Cool.
Anyways, all done. Hey, John, you know what we didn't do last time?
No. What didn't we do last
Let's
time?
eat it.
Oh, what a good idea.
Have you eaten dinner?
No, I actually forgot to have lunch today. I was moving cameras and monitors.
Cool.
Let's do this.
So let's take a few minutes to sample this and let me know what you think.
Sounds good. Yeah, we had time for like a sample bite, and I did a little bit of stimming, and like, yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
This time around.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Oh my God. I would pay like $12, $15 for this plate. Holy cow.
This meal is like $20 if you have the forage. If you have the vegan pantry ingredients, this meal costs less than $20.
Yes. Yes.
For 2 people.
Yes.
So do me a favor and dip. I know this seems obvious, but dip a bite of fully soaked cauliflower into the ranch for me.
I mean, if I have to, these are big asks you're making of me here, Brian.
I know. I'm not a good friend.
just the worst. It's just delightful. I'm so glad that my recorder didn't work. Audience, my recorder failed early in the live stream. That's why we had to do 2 takes. And so I have to make this again tomorrow. And I've never been so grateful for tech issues before.
Cool. I'm really glad you like it, John.
Yeah, man, it's delicious.
How are the fries? Have you tried the fries?
No. But they're pretty good in that range. God, that sauce is just so spicy. And like the texture of the cauliflower, it's not soggy at all. It's very like it's not like crunchy, crispy. It's just like vegetables should have like a body to them. They shouldn't just like dissolve away and be like, did I even eat anything just now? There's like body to the cauliflower, and like you're chewing food. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like this is how you should do cauliflower, right?
Oh, these fries are crispy.
Right?
I didn't know if they would be, and your advice was perfect. Salt them a little bit. Good stuff.
Dip them in the ranch.
Okay, if I have to. Again, big asses here. Delightful. Awesome.
I'm happy with it.
Me too.
I'm glad you liked it, John.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Of course.
Well, I guess we've done what we came here to do.
I guess we did what we came here to do. Thanks for having dinner with me.
Absolutely, man. Is there anything you'd like to promote? Or anything coming up? Or?
Yeah. I'm doing my my lavender tacos, which is not vegan, but it's lavender carne asada with my own grape-based pico de gallo and a smoky pomegranate blackberry ghost pepper crema, and then I'm making a forbidden rice arroz en leche with a bruleed lavender sugar top. So it's just going to be sort of a celebration of lavender because at some point I had to make a lavender thing for a friend, and I chose to stick to purple, and it ended up being like one of the best tacos I've had in my entire life. So that's my pop-up this weekend. Go to @glowupfood. I'm pretty sure I'll be doing at least one vegan pop-up this year, but right now I'm just starting off with one a month, But yeah, follow at Glow Up Food. That's GLOWUP Food on Instagram, and yeah, you can get all the updates there.
You're going to see a lot of funny memes, a lot of good stories, a lot of food related content. Brian will post food that will make you wish you could just make it right away or try it right away. Definitely give him a follow on Instagram if you're all about that food life. Well, cool.
All right. Thanks so much, John.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for coming, everybody.
You're welcome.
Yeah. See y'all later. And
thanks for having me.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like, guest of honor, guest of the year, guest of the year, guest of my life. It's great. You're the best. Can't get enough of you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.